The year is 1942. In the dim, smoke-choked Gestapo headquarters in Lyon, a man with cold blue eyes pins a single photograph to the wall. The air is heavy, thick with the scent of cheap tobacco and stale fear. His name is Klaus Barbie, the butcher of Lyon, a Nazi officer whose hands are stained with the blood of thousands. Jews dragged from hiding, resistance fighters broken on the rack, families shattered in midnight raids. He leans in close, tracing the image of a tall woman with dark hair and a subtle limp, his voice a venomous whisper to his trembling subordinates. "I'd give anything to lay my hands on that limping Canadian bitch. 1,000,000 francs for her head. She is his white whale, the ghost who haunts his sleepless nights. She is 36 years old, and she has only one real leg, Virginia Hall." To understand why this woman became the Nazi butcher's greatest obsession, we must rewind 12 years. Rewind 12 years to a crimson Turkish dawn in 1933, the air thick with a scent of gunpowder and regret. The shotgun buckles in her grip, a momentary slip, a hunter's fatal arrogance. The blast rips through her left foot like lightning through flesh, bones splintering, blood pooling hot and black on the dust. A blinding, raw scream dies in her throat. She stares at the ruin, the world tilting into a haze of agony, and feels not just the fire in her nerves, but a deeper wound, the suffocating certainty that this will cage her forever. American doctors, with their sterile pity, saw it off below the knee. A one-legged woman can't serve her country, they say, as if her spirit were made of porcelain. She grits her teeth, names the clunky wooden prosthetic Cuthbert with a defiant laugh, a laugh that is half sob and half bow, because even in the mirror's cruel reflection, where she sees a woman halved, she vows to run faster than they can chain her. Despite that damning judgment, her will found a new battlefield. By 1940, France crumbles like ash under boot heels. Virginia races ambulances through Paris's inferno, the acrid bite of burning rubber and cordite filling her lungs, the screams of the wounded echoing her own buried rage. The streets are a chaos of shattered glass and hopeless flight. She crosses the channel not as a refugee, but as a predator, pounding on the door of Britain's SW, the shadow war machine of Churchill's fury. She demands entry. The recruiters eye Cuthbert's awkward bulk, their faces twisting in doubt. A woman, limping? She meets their gaze, her heart a storm of quiet fury, and thinks, "You see a cripple. I see a weapon." They blink first. And so, beneath the darkest veil of night, her real war began. August 1941. Moonless black over central France. The Lysander's engine coughs to silence, a heartbeat in the void. "Good luck, Marie," the pilot breathes. Virginia tumbles into the chill embrace of grass and mud, Cuthbert jarring like a thunderclap against frozen earth. The bone-jarring impact sends a shockwave of old pain through her stump. Pain blooms up her spine, but she swallows the gasp, "Not now, not here," as a distant dog's bark slices the night. Her pulse thunders in her ears, every shadow a sniper's scope, every rustle a patrol closing in. She rises, cloaked in darkness, and limps toward the city lights, her mind a whirlwind of terror and exhilaration. This is the freedom of the impossible mission. I'm home. God help them all. Lyon's winter bites like teeth in fog-shrouded alleys. By day, she is the unremarkable Marie Monin, scribbling notes for a fabricated New York Post column, her limp dismissed as eccentricity. She perfects the art of being invisible, a ghost in plain sight. By night, she is fire incarnate, whispering blueprints of bombs into the ears of trembling housewives, their eyes wide with the terror of betrayal, slipping coated wafers through confessional grates to priests whose rosaries hide dynamite fuses. Each dawn, she wakes to the hollow echo in her chest. Will the door splinter today? Will Cuthbert's clack be the last sound I hear? But fear only sharpens her. into the edge that recruits farmers with plowshares into saboteurs, turns milkmaids into messengers of death. The heckler network blooms under her hand, trains shrieking off rails in gouts of flame, bridges crumbling into rivers like fallen giants, Gestapo whispers turning to screams in the dark. But the silence didn't last. The ghost had awakened the hunter. Her success had attracted the attention of the man she hated most. And then, the butcher stirs. Klaus Barbie, with his SS uniform crisp as a blade and eyes like polished steel, pours over intercepted signals in his torture chamber, a room reeking of disinfectant and human despair, the air heavy with a copper tang of blood from his latest interrogations. He knows her only as the limping Canadian, a phantom evading his nets, mocking his empire of fear. He floods Lion with posters, her grainy face staring back from every lamppost, reward ink bleeding in the rain. In rage-fueled rants, he slams his fist on maps scarred with pins. She's turning my city into a graveyard. His men flinch at the mania in his voice, the way his fingers twitch for pliers and electrodes. Barbie, who broke children for sport and shipped trainloads to death camps without a flicker of remorse, feels a rare chill, the ice of professional respect curdling into personal hatred. This woman, this cripple, is stealing his sleep, unraveling his control thread by thread. He triples patrols, unleashes double agents like rabid dogs, but Virginia? She laughs in the mirror, dyes her hair to winter frost, files her teeth to jagged peasant stubs, and hunches into a crone's shuffle. The officers who salute her harmless cheese basket are the same who pore over her bounty poster by lamplight, oblivious to the storm in her eyes. However, even the most perfect disguise could not hold against the escalating Gestapo pressure. November 1942. The noose tightens like a garrote. Now was the time to choose. Fight or flee over the impassable mountains. November 1942. The noose tightens like a garrote. Dawn breaks gray and merciless as boots crash up the attic stairs. Barbie's hounds, baying for blood. Virginia's heart seizes, a vice of ice. They've come for me. For all of us. 8 seconds. Petrol sloshes over codebooks. The match flares like a lover's promise. Flames devour secrets in a hungry roar as she bolts down the back stairs, Cuthbert clattering a frantic Morse code of defiance. The world narrows to breath and shadow. Her radio man's labored gasps beside her, the distant wail of sirens clawing the sky. Behind, her network fractures, friends dragged to Barbie cells, where screams will echo for days, bodies twisted into confessions that damn the innocent. Guilt claws her throat like thorns. Did I lead them here? Will they break? With no choice but escape, they turn their faces toward the final test. The Pyrenees rise like a frozen colossus, 50 miles of fog and frost, wolves howling judgment from the crags. Snow buries her to the hips, wind whipping her face raw, Cuthbert grinding bone-deep protests with every step. The wood chafes, rubbing her stump raw, but she ignores it. Her companions falter. One collapses, sobbing into the white void. The other claws at her sleeve, eyes hollow with surrender. Virginia hauls them up, her voice a whip-crack through chattering teeth. Filthy barrack songs from Baltimore nights, promises of spring wine in liberated cafes. Inside, doubt gnaws like gangrene. What if this is the end? What if Cuthbert betrays me now? Nights blur into delirium, stars mocking overhead, her mind replaying Barbie's imagined laugh, the faces of captured allies twisted in his grip. On the third dawn, bloodied and frost-kissed, she crests the ridge. Spain gleams below, a fragile salvation. She pauses, breath ragged clouds, and glares back at the beastly peaks. Not yet, Butcher. Not ever. But the story of Virginia Hall did not end on that frigid border. That was merely the beginning of an even bolder reemergence, a final declaration of war. Defiance reborn. She parachutes back, yes, with the wooden leg, into a meadow perfumed with defiant wildflowers, her soul a forge of unquenched fire. A perfect landing, despite her handicap. Disguised as a 60-year-old hag, teeth stubs like forgotten barbs, she weaves through villages like smoke, her grandmother's smile hiding a viper's strike. 1,500 guerrillas rally to her whisper. Prisons shatter under midnight assault. Troop trains erupt in infernos that light the road to Normandy. When tanks rumble in, swastikas already smolder in the streets, and a limping shadow slips away into dawn, her heart swelling with savage joy. We did it. Despite you all, war's end brings no parades for her. Truman's Medal, the Distinguished Service Cross, pinned in a curtained room's hush, feels like chains disguised as laurels. The silence honors her, but also erases her sacrifice from the public eye. Virginia vanishes to Maryland soil, goats bleeding under her calloused hands, spy novels her only vice. The rage cools to embers, but the fire never dies. In quiet moments, she traces Cuthbert's scars and thinks, I was never broken. They were. She slips away on July 8th, 1982. Barbie rots in a Bolivian jail, then a French cell, convicted for his rivers of blood, but he never tasted her victory. The Gestapo's most wanted? A ghost who outran hell itself. The legend outlives the man. That's the echo of a woman's unbreakable will, rewriting empires from the shadows.